Hello everybody, Mike Darkness here, and today I wanted to talk about the news that YouTube has given us in the last 24 hours. And if you are out of the loop and you don't know what's going on, YouTube has confirmed that they will be disabling the feature to publicly see the dislikes on videos. With these new changes, that means that the only people that are going to be able to see the dislikes is going to be the content creator. The viewers will not be able to see it, it will not be publicly displayed. Only the content creator will be able to see the number of dislikes that any video has. YouTube has said that this change is one that they've made to reduce harassment campaigns against creators, and specifically they mentioned smaller content creators. However, I do feel that these changes have more negative consequences than positive ones. It is no surprise that YouTube is a relatively poor managed website, and a lot of things just slip by the cracks, and YouTube does nothing to stop a lot of the bad things that happen in the community itself. There has been a lot of harmful content that has been plaguing the site for many years, and YouTube has done little to nothing to stop these kinds of things. In fact, they decide to selectively enforce the rules that they themselves have implemented for supposedly everybody to follow. However, there was one useful tool that people could use to detect these kinds of content that were just terrible for the website. However, where YouTube failed, the community was able to pull around and they found an easy way to counter these harmful content plaguing the site using the dislike feature. However, YouTube wanting to remove this feature, which by this point it just seems like it is inevitable, it's going to cause more harm than good. Considering that users generally use the dislike feature to see what type of content was worth their watch time or what content was potentially harmful. But with this feature being removed, that's no longer going to be the case. YouTube has said that they wanted to remove the feature because despite the fact that there is already a feature to disable ratings on YouTube videos, they've said that content creators still find themselves being targeted for harassment in other content that they upload, because you may disable the ratings on a video, but if you don't follow through with every other video that you upload, people will find a way to follow along and still target your content. Now, there are members of the community that are welcoming this change with open arms, saying that this is a long overdue feature that has needed to be changed, since they themselves have been found to be targets of harassment. Other users have actually mentioned how this would make it similar to other websites that don't have a dislike feature like Twitter and TikTok. However, I disagree with the statement that this will stop just harassment altogether. Because in fact, even though the dislike feature will be removed, there is still the comment section. And unless you do the same thing of disabling comments on all your content, that still won't prevent people from going to other videos and harassing you in the comment section, which is far worse to be harassed through comments than just somebody clicking on the dislike button. While it might seem good in face value to just remove this feature altogether, the comments is still a far worse alternative that people that still want to harass you will take and use. Also, I do not agree with the comparison between Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, because the formatting of these websites are very, very differently. YouTube was born to just be a website where you could share content with other people, with other creators, with people of the community. It was born in that context, while Twitter was born more in the context of text-based content and just people wanting to share their opinions and some short videos and screenshots. And TikTok is formatted in a different way as well. They might have in the baseline a way to share videos, but they do still have the difference that while YouTube has no time limit on their content, meaning that the content creator decides just how long their videos are going to be, that is not a deterrent of people uploading videos that last hours upon hours. Meanwhile, TikTok has a very restrictive time limit, meaning that people have to be quick and on point if they want to upload a TikTok on the website. They can't just take 30 minutes to say one thing on one video. They have to be fast. However, the formatting between Twitter and TikTok is very different compared to the one on YouTube because on YouTube is a formatting where you have to scroll to find a video and click on it to watch versus on Twitter and TikTok where you scroll through content constantly and you're already seeing the things, and maybe if you want to see a little more you click on it. However, on YouTube videos you cannot just scroll through and that's it. You actually have to go through and watch the video to see the content. Whereas as in TikTok, the content is on your face immediately, and on Twitter, most of the content is there already, and there might be just something to click on, maybe a link of a video, or maybe there's a video that they posted that can't be that long either, which goes back to the length of the videos. Some people will feel that they're gonna be ripped off if they click on an 8-minute YouTube video where nothing happens versus if you watch a Twitter video where it's 1 minute, you lost a minute. It's not that great, but compare that to people who live off YouTube and they always go through the minimum effort to just pass over the time so they can get a quick cash grab or a quick pay. Like I mentioned before, the dislike feature is not as bad as people actually are making it out to be, considering that the dislike is just a number on a screen, and if somebody just went on all your videos and disliked it because they want to harass you, it's not as bad as somebody going over all of your content and leaving a nasty and hateful comment. How threatening is a dislike compared to somebody who has the freedom to say whatever they want on a comment on YouTube? Think about the difference between these two things. Somebody clicking on one button versus somebody with intent saying those things. Removing the dislike button is just going to make it far worse, and people will be more likely to actually go out of their way and harass content creators. Trust me, a comment is far more threatening and more harmful than a dislike on a YouTube video will ever be on its entire lifetime. I have a premonition that removing the dislike feature is just going to make these harassment campaigns, which YouTube is trying to prevent, more harmful. Dislikes do not compare to the comments. A dislike will never be as threatening as a comment. I've already said it and I will say it a million times if I have to. On top of that, the removal of the dislikes encourages people to bring harmful content to the community. Now you can see the dislike bar and you can tell if it's worth it to watch the video that you just clicked on. Removing the dislike feature is just going to motivate people to bring legitimate scams into the platform, and no way to actually prevent this. People that want to make the harm will not need to worry about disabling the ratings, which already by itself makes it suspicious if you're trying to find something. And now, if they want to do it, the only thing that they need to worry about is going to the comment section and hiding responses, which is something that you can do. A content creator can hide replies to videos. And hiding the replies is something that is just going to be super easy. It's something that you can actually do in a click of a button. I can pull up my phone, go to any comments that I've received on my channel, and in less than 10 seconds, that comment is completely gone from my video. Nobody will be able to see the comment. And like I've said before, the formatting between TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter is very differently. Now, I don't know how to compare between YouTube and TikTok because personally I don't use TikTok enough. I do have it downloaded. I barely even use it. But I can tell you Twitter is one of the most toxic social platforms that exist right now. There's no place else that is as toxic as Twitter. And anybody that tells you that Twitter is not toxic is blatantly lying to you. But Twitter has a lack of a dislike feature on their website. But there is a certain type of behavior that flourishes on that website that is very negative. You know how there's no dislike feature on Twitter? Guess what people use to harass people? The comments. And guess what's going to happen if YouTube doesn't have a dislike feature? They're going to harass you with comments. These are just my quick thoughts on these changes that YouTube wants to implement. I personally feel that YouTube once again is making a terrible decision that is going to far outweigh the negatives. With scammers just joining the platform because one of the biggest threats that they have, which is people sharing their opinions in the ratings, is no longer to be there. And they can just hide the replies quickly and they won't have to worry about anything. With these changes, it just feels like once again YouTube has no idea what they're doing with their platform, that they're just throwing the ball out there saying that they supposedly went through extensive research on how removing the feature to see the dislikes on videos changes the behavior of people that dislike videos. But it just feels like they haven't taken into consideration the other possibilities. And just because one thing changed, that doesn't mean that everything else is going to stay the same. Remove the dislike feature, and people that want to harass you are going to find other ways.